Welcome back, everybody. This is G Bear on June 12th, shooting part 2 of the video I shot earlier this morning. And that's what's left of the roll of wire, that aviary wire that I have. That's only a little 1/2-inch opening, so it's a light gauge wire. It's supposed to be able to keep birds in when you make a finch cage or something like that. But I figured this will work great for what I'm trying to keep out of my garden here. So anyway, as you can see, I am all closed in all the way around here. I do have to pick up some more nails and finish sealing off around the top, but that's not a critical thing. It is sealed. As you can see, I put a lot of nails along the seam to make sure that nothing could get through there. And come around here, you can see the upper section is all done, the door's all done, and on the door I put a door stop on the inside here, and I put a handle on the inside so I can pull this shut behind me once my chickens get out roaming around here doing a free range. When I come in here, I don't want them following me in here and going through my garden. I'll let them do that at the end of the growing season. They can come in and eat up all of the remnants. But in the meantime, what you're looking at here is the start of my self-watering gutter garden. And I'm going to have 10 plants on there. And it'll be using buckets like that. And those grow baskets will actually be stuck in the bottom of the grow buckets, wrapped in a weed barrier. It's a black cloth, and that keeps the roots from going down into the watering section. This end right here will be connected to some water barrels that'll be on a pedestal here. That's what I have those pallets for on the back of the van. And there's a float valve in there, and this also has one of those covers, just like I did on the chicken feeder, to go over the top of that to slow down evaporation. But what happens here is this thing has to be perfectly level, not only lengthways but crossways, and then the water just fills up automatically. And those grow baskets will be sitting in the bottom of it, so when I start everything, I'm going to be soaking the soil in each unit. So what's going to happen is a wicking effect. As the plants need water, the water is going to wick up through the dry soil, and then when it needs more water, it automatically feeds it. So I don't have to come out here every day and water these plants. I'm also going to be setting up a timer with a 12-volt activated ball valve. That'll come off a second unit on the barrel setup over here, that I'll be able to hook up and put a drip sprinkler on all of my other plants and let them get watered automatically on a 12-volt solar timer. And I have those timers already. I experimented with them a year ago on lights inside the motorhome, so when I wasn't here, the lights went on and off all night long to look like somebody was here. I wanted to be able to turn the TV on, but remember the old days where you turned the dial and the TV was on and you had to click it to shut it off. That was when you could use those. Nowadays, with the touch buttons and remotes, when you shut a TV off, you've got to use the remote button to turn it back on. You can't do it manually with a timer. All right. So anyway, everything is all set up in here. And this is the tarp I got. This is a shade tarp. And this one says it's 60 to 70% of the sun's rays is blocked out. And it's UV resistant, and it's a reinforced web. So what I'm going to be doing is setting that up on the north side of the unit, coming over as far as it'll come over, which is 12 feet. So that's going to leave the last 2 feet of this area up here. 2 feet of it will be uncovered, and that'll be fine, because right now that gives me sun in the afternoon inside of here, and it'll shade everything else and keep it cooler in here on these 100+ days. And my plants will have a better chance. As you can see, my blue lakes are drying out a little bit. I just spritzed them with water to give them a little bit of go. And we're heading towards the end of the day now. The sun will be setting in a few hours here. And the wind has picked up and it's cooled down a little bit. So the plants are starting to like this coolness. But with that shade cloth, they'll get a little bit of shade during the day and they'll be better off. I noticed I got to do some pruning on my tangerine tree here. I've got some dead wood in there that needs to come off. And while I was looking at it, I noticed that inside of here, I've got some nice sized little tangerines in there. So by December, I might have a couple of tangerines on this unit. All right. That all being said, as you can see, we're closed in. I've got no worries about anything coming in here. Those Mojave Desert ground squirrels, they're small. They look like a chipmunk. And they could fit through the chicken wire, but they can't fit through this wire. So hopefully that's going to stop that, and I'll be able to get some growth out of those trees this year. As you can see, I've started putting stuff in the compost. I had saved some bread that I was going to feed the chickens, but it had gone moldy. So I threw that in the compost along with some eggshells, and I'll crush those eggshells up and stir them into the soil. Let's take a quick walk over here to the chicken coop. You can see all the girls are outside here. I just refreshed their water for them. And geez, it looks like they drank half that water out of that thing already. There's 3, 7, 8. So they're all out here. Let's see if they left me anything inside. Let's see how things are going here. Oh, look at this. 2, 4, 5 in there and 1 in there. I'll have to come out with my colander and collect those. And I started a couple of years ago saving egg cartons from when I bought eggs. And inside the containers, I've got a whole stack of them, probably a couple hundred of them. So I'll be putting eggs in some of those and bringing them to friends and so forth. There's nothing in this side. They seem to like that one bin on the other side, but I don't think all the hens are laying yet. Just a couple of them. But that'll work its way in. As you can see, they're starting to follow me around everywhere I go. 5 of the 8 come meet me at the door when I come in. So they're not running away anymore. They're kind of liking life. All right, that's all there is for today. It's time to go post this, grab a cold beer, and sit in the portable tub and soak some muscles away. Because I've been out here working at 103 degrees temperature all day. And I did take it easy. And as I posted on the first video, I forgot to mention, when I set up that rig to pull the wire over the top, as soon as I put the phone down and stopped recording, I pulled the first one over there. It took less than a minute to get it in place. In the first half hour, I had all 3 pieces going across the top and all tacked in place and all cut off and ready to do the finish. Then it took me 3 hours from there to start nailing it all down and folding the corners and stitching the edges and all that. And then the 2 sides, I had to, that's why the roll is way back there. I had to stretch it out on the ground, lay some flat boards. I use these boards right here on it so I could cut it right down the middle and make 2 half strips to go on the 2 sides there. And then those took a lot of time to nail because I had to like mesh them in on all 4 sides and stitch them together. But it's done. And all I've got now is to put that shade cloth up. I don't know when I'll get to that, but hopefully soon. Also, I'm just going to try to zoom in. You see down there, I've got a, let me see if I can get my finger in. I've got a camper down there. He's been there most of the week now. I don't know how long he's going to stay, but I'm going to keep an eye just in case he's not one of those curious Georges that are going to come up here and check things out. I don't mind if he does while I'm here, so I can get to meet him and get him on camera as to who he is. But yeah, it looks like a little camper with a pickup truck, and the guy's gone out with the pickup truck, so who knows, it might be somebody that bought that piece of land and is up here starting a homestead like I did a couple of years ago. I might have a new neighbor a mile away. G-Bear, signing off.